Yo, what's going on everyone? It's Obayliswa Mutupi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So you do know that I like to share a lot of valuable content. Like if you don't believe, you can go to my previous video that I uploaded and you'd see that I share a lot of value. So I'm never stingy with information. And on today's video, we're actually going to be speaking about how to treat part-time when you're working a full-time job. So if you're a person that's working a full-time job and you're thinking that you have a lot of excuses that why you can't really treat Forex, then this video is for you. And if even though you're going to school or you actually have something going on that is taking a lot of your time and you want to treat Forex, but you don't need more than 3 hours a day to treat Forex. So that's one thing that I'm going to be covering in today's topic with. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the things that are actually able to help the people that are around me, because at the same time I've never really worked a day in my life, so I can't really speak about myself, but I have been a part of times whereby I needed money, I needed to hustle, so I can't really focus on trading because I needed to hustle. So we'll speak a bit more about that into detail. So just make sure to like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you do want to get as much more valuable content that I do share on a consistent basis. But let us jump onto today's video. Now we're going to be speaking about how to actually treat Forex if you're actually a full-time worker or a full-time person that goes to school, a student, or whatever that you're doing, but how to actually treat Forex if you have that going on a full-time basis, and if you actually want to be a part of it in a part-time, a part of Forex in a part-time manner. So that's one thing that we're going to be covering. Obviously, I've got 3 perfect points that I've got down here on which you're going to be covering them step by step, which is a much more better way for me to unpack things unlike just going through them just like this. So let us start off first without wasting any more. I don't want to waste time, so without wasting any more time, let me start off first with the very first point. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at this in a different perspective. Like, let's say now you're a person that's actually a very beginner. You have no clue on what's happening with Forex. You don't really know or understand anything that's going on with Forex. But here you are, you're working, or you something's taking a lot of your time, but you also want to learn Forex. Obviously, we all do want to be involved into something that's going to make us more money. Who wouldn't want that, obviously? So let's say you do want to be a part of it. So the best thing that I can say is that you have to look during your time frame. Why do you say that you don't have enough time? What is the thing that makes you say that you don't have time? You find out that you do work from 8 in the morning up until late. Late could be up until 6 in the evening. But what is it that you do from 6 or from 7? Because let's say you're driving to back home. What is it that you do from 7 up until 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? What do you do around that time? So this is actually what I'm going to be speaking about. I need you to actually dedicate 1 to 3 hours daily into learning this Forex craft. So let's say you are a beginner. If you're a beginner, obviously you'll need to dedicate as much, let's say 2 to 3 hours, at least 2 to 3 hours a day. That way you're going to learn faster. Remember, these steps are actually the steps that are going to help you learn a bit more faster. Unlike just saying that you can take 13 minutes a day, but that's actually going to help you learn in like a year's time frame, you understand? But instead, if I say 2 to 3 hours a day, understand that within 3, 4, 5 months you'd already understand what's happening within the markets. You already know a lot of things. You already know how to execute, how to actually make profitable trades. You already know a lot of things. So it actually depends on you. Where are you on your career? Are you a beginner, or are you actually a person that's already experienced in the markets, but you don't really have enough time? As long as you've got an hour to 3 hours that you can dedicate into learning, not into mastering your strategies, but into learning, even till this day. I understand that there's a lot of things that I do in a much more better manner, but till this day I still go out there, I get information, and then I come back and then I apply. You might find out that what I know is not too much. There's always something that you can know, or something. If I'm making 20% a month and then I go out there, I study, get a course, or I don't know, get a course maybe, and then I study it, I learn it, I might get something that's going to help me be able to go from making 20% a month to go to making at least 24% a month. So it means that if I continue to learning, I'm actually bettering my returns onto the Forex market. So that's one thing that I want you to do. You need to focus onto learning, focus onto mastering this, like focus onto understanding each and every topic that has to be covered. I mean, like if it's candlesticks, you need to understand candlesticks to a point that you can explain it to the next person. You understand? Like you can explain it to anyone, like your parents, your grandmom, everyone that's out there. You'd be able to explain it to them. So you need to learn to that point. Also, it doesn't really help if you're learning but you're not taking notes. It doesn't really help if you're watching videos just like sitting like this and you're watching YouTube videos but you're not really taking notes, or you're not really taking down something. That's not really helpful. So you need to be able to also take notes while you're learning. So even if it's just that let's say the previous video that I uploaded, we spoke about impulse correction, the nature's theory. Even if you understand the nature's theory only, if you can just focus into it, understand it better, it become much more let's say come up with better perspectives onto understanding it, that means that it will come to a time where you already mastered this topic and you have to move on to the next topic. And that way you master each and every topic or each and every step as you go along the way. Unlike you starting to say, I just want to learn risk management. That way it's actually going to be a bit more confusing, because you just start off by learning risk management. You don't really know that if you should start first with the candlesticks or the patterns or this. So the first point, obviously, it is to dedicate 1 to 3 hours daily into this forex market. Now, the second point is the one that's actually amazing. A lot of people even would love to hear this point. And the second point is actually you need to dedicate time into finding a strategy that allows you to spend 1 hour to 2 hours a day in order to just capitalize on the markets in a much more better manner. So what is it that I mean? What is it that I mean 1 to 2 hours a day? For instance, I work literally less than 30 minutes, or even maximum, I would say less than 1 hour a day. And how do I do that? I actually wake up in the morning around 8, and then 9, let's say 8:30 till 9. That's when I just sit on the markets. I'll just I'll play around, just see what setups I'm going to be covering, or what setups are ready for me to actually execute on the specific day. And when I do find a setup, I look at it like, let's say if I'm waiting for a 1 hour close, 1 hour, obviously it means that I'm waiting for 1 hour. The next candlestick, I'll wait for the next candlestick to close, on which if it's 1 hour candlestick, that means I'll have to wait for 1 hour. But I won't sit and wait like this. It means I'm going to be away for a few minutes and then come back after 1 hour just to see what the progress is like. That's the type of strategy that I trade. And if I do execute on a trade, normally I only come back to the market after 4 to 5 hours just to see how things are happening, just to see if the market is really progressing in my way. And that's actually one thing that I want you guys to do. You need to actually develop a strategy that only allows you to trade. You don't have to be in the markets full day. Like, let's say for instance, if you're scalping is a bit more difficult. If you're day trading, that's intra trading, it's actually a bit more difficult too, because at the same time you need to forever be on the laptop like this, waiting for the next best trade to execute, you understand? So that way it's a bit more difficult. But if you know for sure that, okay, no, you take 1 hour entries and you wait for 1, 2, 3, you've got your criteria, all these things, the momentum is to the upside on the bigger time frame, and you've got all these things that you're looking for, and then you just sit down, and once you do get that 1 hour entry, you execute on it, and you know that you're gonna push. It's gonna be the next day is gonna come 2 days later, you're still within that one trade. That's actually much more better than you trading each and every day, making sure that you're buying and selling each and every day. It's a bit more stressful, it's a bit more hectic. There's people that do that, it's better, like it works for them. Not every strategy works for others, but at the same time I want you to understand that for you, if you're working a full-time job, you don't have time obviously on the computer. You can't really sit the whole day looking at the markets, analyzing the markets, executing, taking losses, taking wins, and all this. You don't have time for that. So the best thing that you can do is find that strategy that allows you to only capitalize in just that 1 to 2 hours. At the same time, it will also give you time during the weekends to actually look for what entries that you can take. It's much better to plan ahead of the market instead of just waiting and then hearing a friend saying let's buy this, and then you just jump, then you buy because they said so. But if you plan, let's say during the weekend, obviously not going to work around that time. So you sit down, you analyze the market. It will literally take you less than 3 hours. You analyze the market, you see all the top pairs, you separate them, you focus, you see, okay, these are the top 6 pairs that I'm going to be focusing on. Means that during the week I'm only going to be laser focused on these specific pairs. So it means that Monday you'll just scan the markets. It takes you less than 30 minutes to scan the markets. After you scan, you just see, okay, I think I'm going to be entering EURUSD and AUD and ZD. These are the ones that are ready for today only. It means that those are the ones that are ready for today. So you'll see, okay, with this one here, it's actually going to correct a bit. So it means that I have to wait maybe for a 6 to 8 hour correction, and then it means that you'll check after 6 to 8 hours. And with this price, let's say EURUSD, it's ready. I can enter it now as soon as possible. So obviously you can put your buy stops or your sell stops, and then your stop losses also, and also take profits, and then you forget about it, and then you'll come back after 6 to 8 hours just to see how AUD and ZD is going. If it gives you an entry, obviously you're going to capitalize off it. But if it doesn't give you an entry, obviously you just have to wait for the next day to just see and scan through the market just like that. Like I mentioned, I only go through the markets like less than an hour each and every day, and I'm able to be consistent when the week closes, when the month closes even too. So you need to be able to just discover the strategy that will allow you to trade 1 to 2 hours a day. Okay, so now we're jumping onto the third point. But before we jump onto the third point, if you like this video, obviously do hit the like button and make sure to just hit the subscribe button if you're getting a lot of value from this. But let us continue. The third point is actually to have an investor's mindset. So you actually need to be working with percentages. You actually need to understand how these trades of yours go in a percentage method, and you have to be patient also to execute on your not only profit or stops or all these things, but you need to be patient to actually time your trades just so you can execute execute on it with a much more higher probable that the returns are going to be in your favor. So I hope that you understood that, but I'm not done yet, because it's just me unpacking that whole topic. So that whole point, actually, the third point. So basically, understanding, having the investor's mindset, you need to be able to see things in a long-term view. You need to understand that, okay, no, maybe I'm targeting 1,000 pips, or maybe I'm targeting 3,000 pips. You need to understand that during the 3,000 pips, it's not going to take a day to reach 3,000 pips. It can take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. So during that month frame, the market moves in cycles, impulse corrections. So you understand that, okay, no, it's 3,000 pips that I'm targeting, and obviously the market moves in cycles. So whenever an impulse shows itself, I'm going to relax a bit. The impulse shows itself, you understand the momentum, the direction. But whenever a correction starts to show itself, I'm going to understand, learn this correction, see what it's telling me, so that I can be involved in the next impulsive move. That's what I mean when I'm speaking about actually timing your trades to execute it in a much more high probable manner. That's one thing that you need to do. Having an investor's mindset, obviously, is also to be able to just see the long-term view of things. Just like I said, the 3,000 pips, just being able to forecast and be able to see that your target is actually the 3,000 pips, and you're gonna stick to that analysis up until it does reach target, or up until it gives you actually a different point that you need to change. Maybe if it's a reversal pattern, I don't know, something like that. But you need to understand that that's actually what's actually gonna help you out on your journey. Because even to look at it, working with percentages, one of the most important things that actually helped me, instead of me trying to see how much I made, I'm trying to see what actually is the risk that actually took in order to actually gain what it is that I was trying to gain. That's if I took a loss, in order to see what it is that I lost. And most times I would actually be excited, because you might find out that I risked, I always risk 1%, but you might find out that I lost that 1% in order to gain 7%, in order to gain 5%, in order to gain 10%, which is amazing, because I can take literally 4 trades in a row that are losses, but just one trade that goes into my direction can bring back all those losses, plus put me into profits. So you need to be able to work with percentages. Working with percentages is also going to help you out a lot, massively, if you actually are trading with any type balance. Any type balance literally means that like if you take on $1,000 account, you do exactly what you just done on a $1,000 account, and you make a specific percentage returns. It means that even if you have $1 million account, you'd be able to have those specific returns. It means that if you made 25% on a $1,000 account, it's $250. But on $1 million account, it's $250,000. So just by implementing the same strategies, the same risk management, the same all types of things, psychology, the mindset behind it, in order to perform those returns, is much more profitable. Because once you do it, it's not even about the account anymore. But once you do have that bigger account, you'll be able to still be trading the same way, still be doing the same types of things that you were doing months ago, years ago. But now, because your account is much more bigger, you're making much more better returns. But find out that you're still making 30% a month. Find out that you're still making 40% a month. But it's just that now you're able to actually be patient enough to grow your account to a much more bigger level. But remember that the topic for today, we're actually speaking about what it is that you need to do in order to trade Forex part-time. And so if you're actually working a full-time job, and I actually covered 3 points here that were actually into deep. Let me just go back into them, which is to talk, which is to dedicate 1 to 3 hours a day into studying the market, which is also to develop a strategy that allows you to be in the market for 1 to 2 hours a day, and also to develop an investor's mindset and working with percentages, being patient for trades. Those are 3 things that can help out a person that I think is maybe sitting there and they want to be a part of the Forex market, but they feel like they don't have time. You always have time for things. You always have time to do something. So you just have to be able to just know what it is that you want to prioritize, know what it is that you actually really do want out of life, just so you can know what steps to actually take going forward. Guys, I do have a Telegram channel. I'll put the link in the description. It's going to help you out a lot on your trading journey, free of charge. I don't charge to be a part of it, obviously. So just make sure that you do check it out, and do like this video. Do also subscribe to my channel, and I'll make sure to come back with much more better valuable videos.